Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey. This is Right Color. And hi, Gemini. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripe Color. And this is your reading for the month of July, July 2021. Okay. I'm using these so that you don't hear the hum of the air conditioning in the background. Okay. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. I'm offering one-on-one readings. All the information is below. And this is for Gemini. Out of all the air signs, Gemini is the one that I attract most. I just seem to always have Geminis in my life. Just, just a heads up. It's funny how we all seem to attract certain signs, right? And then there are certain signs, it's like, I don't really know any. I mean, one or two, but not really. Anyway, one, two, three. Okay, Gemini. Let's see what's going on. Um, the nine, the 10, interesting. The Wheel of Fortune, and the six. Okay, okay. Whoop. I'm a cinematographer, obviously. Something you can't get away from. A thought, a truth, a reality that's sunk in, and it's like, oh, um, disheartening, worrisome. However, here comes the Wheel of Fortune. Here comes the Wheel of Fortune. It's all about to turn. It's all about to spin. It's all about to change in a big way. And then we get this lovely card of community, of giving and receiving, charity, of perseverance, of fairness. Uh, there's a certain creativity in this card, too. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to kind of go backwards in a way. This card for me is really, so it's about community because once you have three people, it's all about community. Two people, a lot of times about a partnership or, a relationship. But once you have three, like three's company, blah, blah, blah. This card is very profound because it's really about giving and receiving. It's the card of charity, but for me, it's really about, because the balance shows up, it's really about giving and receiving. It's like he's both giving, but he's also receiving. This one's receiving, but he's also giving in a way, right? So this is about being in the flow of money, in the flow of the community. It's like, I have something to offer. You have something to give. You have something to offer. I have something to give. I always feel like that's the energy of this card. I think what's happened is you've had a revelation of maybe some of the like the community that you might be involved with, or the people that you're surrounding yourself with. It's like either you've been giving and giving and giving, and you don't really get anything in return, right? Or um, you've been selfish, and you realize it. You've been maybe there's a realization of your own selfishness, and maybe you realize like people have been giving you and giving you, and you haven't really been gracious. Um, I there's something I feel like you have this understanding of community now, or you had like this revelation of a truth that makes you realize that you haven't really been part of a community, that you've been kind of isolated and other than and away from, and you're longing for, and you have an understanding um, of the benefit and the sense of belonging that you can have in a community. And I think you're kind of getting that you haven't really been there or extended yourself or allowed others to help you, or allowed others to help you. Maybe you're the type that like you're always helping everyone. And then when people want to give you, you're like, oh no, I got it. And now all of a sudden it's become clear. And, sometimes we get into that whole martyr thing. It's like, oh, I'll take care of everything. You don't take care of me. But that's not fair. That's not really being part of the community. That's being outside of. And I think this revelation that you have an understanding in terms of how you interact with a group or groups, or people in general is about to change. Because this card at the end of the day for me is really about evolution of the soul. This is, it's like not only is the fortune going to change, but your attitude, your action, everything is going to change. It's like it's like a clock does its, how it goes round and round. Um, and I feel like that's what's going on. I feel like that's what's going on. And there's a creative energy. This is also, queens are about patience. So just because you have a revelation about something and now you really want to like try to change your behavior or change your attitude, or, you know, work in a different way with other people, it takes time. It takes time. So be aware of that. Yeah, new idea, new way of looking at things, right? A clarity of how you haven't really been here, but that you want to be here. Like maybe in the past, you put yourself in a position of, I'll give you all the time, or maybe you are in a position, or maybe you become aware of an attitude that you have. It's like, well, everyone has to give me everything because, you know, I have it coming to me. And it's like, that's, it's really, I think the healthiest place to be, the most beneficial place to be, and the most well-rounded place to be, in my opinion, is to have one hand giving and one hand receiving, and to be in the middle of that, to be in the flow of that. And I think that there's a revelation that's come through that you haven't really been that. You've been one or the other. So it's time to bring the twins together and form it into a whole that flows better, right? And I'm not sitting in judgment of this because I've been on both ends of the spectrum with this as well. So that's why I kind of get it. I've been in position in my life where it's like, oh, poor me, everyone has to take care of me. And I've also been in position where it's like, I'll take care of everything and you don't have to do a thing and I'll do everything for you. And neither one of those places are really healthy or balanced. So sometimes it's just about being balanced. And that really comes through here. right? And in a weird way, not a weird way, but there's a certain balance to this card. There's a certain symmetry here, right? We have this, we have the four corners. There's a certain balance, right? This represents the four fixed signs, but it represents the four elements, right? And there's a balance between them. So I feel like there's this understanding of wanting to be more balanced, of wanting to be more in the middle, in the middle, and uh, I think you're evolving into that because of the clarity that you've had. So um, it's part of the journey of becoming more human. It's just part of the journey of becoming more human and um, more able to communicate and to participate with people in a way that maybe you haven't been able to grasp or been able to utilize. Uh, it's almost like uh, you have this revelation of like there's a tool in your toolbox that you've never really used before, and it's like, oh, that's what this does. Let me try and start to utilize this and and gain another skill and gain another skill in terms of interaction, in terms of relationship, in terms of being part of something larger than me. So very interesting. And what's interesting too is that I feel like everything's a mirror, right? So the more I'm in the flow of both giving and receiving, the more I'm able to do that for myself, to myself. It's all a mirror. So the more I'm in this flow of I have a couple extra bucks, I can give someone something, or I really need help with something, I'm going to ask someone something. So it's really about also knowing oneself. It's like, when can I do this on my own? When can I teach this to somebody or help somebody out with something? And when do I need to say, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I know that my friend knows what they're doing, and it would be an opportunity for me to see them and you know ask them to help me, and like maybe I'll make them lunch, or I'll throw them a couple of bucks, or I'll whatever. Exchange. It's exchange. This is an energy of exchange, which is part of being uh, a satisfied, sated human on the planet. Otherwise, it'd just be one of us, and I'd be talking to myself and watching my own videos. All right, that's what I'm getting. Blessings to you. Thanks for tuning in.